This is a podcast by the Business Times.
Welcome to Money Hacks, a podcast series by the Business Times where we explore useful financial tips. Now, for this episode, I'm podcast editor Ernest Luis and I'm hosting Chris Lim instead, your usual show host. Hi, Chris.
Hey, what's up, Ernest?
And I've also got our special guest, BT's senior correspondent Ben Paul, who is, coincidentally, the host of the Business Times' new podcast called BT Mark to Market. Welcome, Ben.
Hello, Ernest.
Well, listeners, I think if you've been following our Business Times coverage of our podcast, you should know that when Chris is not hosting the podcast, he's actually the digital editor powering the Business Times forward to keep up with the changing times, the appetites, the consumption habits of our business community and readers. Right, Chris?
That's right. I do product development, audience development, platform development. In fact, we just rolled out a stocks widget on the website so that when you read stories on the BT website, there's a listed company, you can see stocks data, last close price, that sort of thing.
So that's the BT website stocks widget.
Yeah, basically just go to a story where there's a listed company and we will basically insert a widget there.
Okay, great stuff. Now, what is the other latest initiative that the Business Times has to help its readers make better sense of money, follow the business trends better, and especially make the right investment tips?
Okay, so in September 2020, we launched the Business Times News Tablet Edition. So this is basically a bundle of a Samsung tablet and a BT subscription. And so we launched this in September. It's $39.90 a month for 30 months for the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite LTE tablet. And although SPH has quite a few news tablets for other publications, BT is the only one at the moment bundling the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite LTE tablet with our news tablet edition. Although we do have a more affordable version called the Galaxy Tab A. That's $29.90 a month. And the Tab A is what comes with the news tablet editions for the other SPH publications.
Okay, so let's say I'm one of those people out there. I've never really bought a tablet before, or it's been a number of years and I wanted to get back to the scene. I wanted to get the latest tablet. And hey, I don't mind getting a new subscription for the Business Times to help me make better sense of my money. This is the way to go. And the price of an actual tablet is also included in this, right? The $39.90 a month.
Absolutely. So for $39.90 a month for 30 months, you get a subscription full access to the Business Times website, BT app, as well as a exclusive SPH Tab e-paper app that comes pre-installed on the tablet. You can't download this elsewhere. You can only get this when you subscribe to the News Tablet Edition. You get this SPH Tab e-paper app. I mean, it's really the most seamless way of reading the BT e-paper. No logins, don't have to worry, no password. That's the key. Don't have to worry about logging in. Are you logged out? Are you logged in? You are always logged in. So it's really, really seamless.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The password-free experience. That's quite cool. Yeah. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. Many of our readers like that.
And it's secure as well. You don't have to give your password away to any third-party services. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because that's what you do with the traditional print edition. You pick it up when you want to read it. I mean, when you open the broadsheet newspaper, you don't have to worry about, passwords and your user ID. So same thing here. You don't want to have to worry about logging in, logging out when you pick up your news tablet.
So, Chris, actually, I put myself in the shoes of any of our readers, and I went to the Business Times subscription website, and I came across the promotion for this BT News Tablet Edition, right? And I was watching the video, and then it had this catchphrase at the end, which is, read, print the new way. I thought that was interesting. What do you guys mean by read, print the new way?
That's a great question, Ernest. So what is the BT e-paper? The e-paper is really the electronic facsimile of the print edition. That means it's, in a sense, a PDF-like copy.
Yeah.
It's what the print edition would look like. You can access the e-paper on your phone, on the website, as well as, if you have a tablet, you download the app, you can install an app on your own Android tablet or iPad, but you don't get this password-free experience. Think of how big a broadsheet newspaper is.
Yeah.
You really want a tablet if you want to read the e-paper version of that. You can read it on your phone, and it's great for quickly referring to something in the print edition. But if you really want to browse through the BTE paper. The tablet is about the right size, and the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite LTE has a 10.4-inch touchscreen display. So you really want something about that size. The more affordable Tab A is 10.1 inches. The S6 Lite LTE is 10.4 inches. So you really want something about that size to have a comfortable browsing experience.
Yeah, I think the 10-inch tablets are the way to go, especially if you're looking at print, more magazine or print layouts, It makes more sense rather than trying to squeeze on a little small smartphone screen, zoom in and zoom out. I don't think that's really the way to consume these products.
Absolutely, especially since the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite LTE is the only SPH News tablet to come with an S Pen stylus. So it's kind of handy to have a stylus. I mean, the Tab A doesn't come with one, and not everybody needs one. It's handy because, you can use it to flip through, to make notes, etc. It's particularly handy with a tablet because it's sort of a natural form factor. You have this tablet that you can then write on. So a stylus is very handy. And of course, you want a stylus that works seamlessly with your tablet. So of course, this is a Samsung S Pen stylus. So it comes with the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. So it's built to work with it. You don't have to worry about compatibility. And before I forget, we actually have just started our Black Friday Cyber Monday promotion for the BT News Tablet Edition.
Tell us more.
So starting November 19th, we started giving away $50 Best Denki vouchers together with every new News Tablet Edition subscription. And of course, it comes with free delivery as well.
And
so
it
free
starts
delivery,
November 19th, right?
November 19th. It runs till November 30th. The link for that really is btsub.sg/moneyhacks. btsub.sg/moneyhacks. MONEYHACKS. So you go to our eShop and subscribe there. But then, during this period, November 19th to the 30th, we will also give you a $50 Best Denki voucher when you subscribe. And we'll deliver your tablet to you free of charge.
Great stuff. You heard it from Chris Lim there. He's the digital editor of the Business Times. Now, if you like BT Money Hacks so far, please subscribe to our podcast for free on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. And like us and give us a rating. Now back to our conversation about how the Business Times can help you make more money, save more money, make sense of financial decisions, and find out about the latest business trends, and overall just get better investment tips. I'm with BT's digital editor Chris Lim and senior correspondent Ben Paul. So Ben, congratulations on the launch of your new podcast for BT called Mark to Market, and that was last week, right?
Yes, it was. Thanks, Ernest. So the feedback that's come so far has largely been from people whom I know personally. And I would say that it's been overwhelmingly positive. And, hopefully as time goes by, more people download the podcast and let us know what they think.
Yeah, well, I have a couple of friends who are also, some of them are subscribers to the Business Times, and they said they liked the format of it. Even though it's a monologue, they felt there was something for them to listen to at every stage of the podcast. And it's about 10 minutes long, right?
It is. And that's very encouraging to hear.
So, Ben, as a business correspondent, what do Singaporeans often want of you when they bump into you outside?
Well, it depends on who exactly the person is. Different people are interested in different things. But a lot of the work that I do as a journalist revolves around the stock market. And a lot of people who follow the mark-to-market column, which runs every Monday in the Business Times, are aware of that. So I find that people in the corporate sector, when I meet them, tend to be interested in how their financial performance and business strategies are being viewed in the market. On the other hand, investors are often interested in what's happening to those companies. And they also tend to be interested in whether there are emerging narratives in the market that might be different from their own. So they want to understand what other investors are doing.
I get what you mean because when I listen to your podcast, and I'm not in my professional role as a podcast editor, when I listen to it, I try to imagine myself as a listener. And I found that when you gave us the overall picture at the start, and then you sort of delve into a bit more micro level at the Singapore market level, and then you move on into these companies that you want us to look at, I thought that approach really worked and really explains why I think, as you said, investors who are interested in what's happening at the companies, they would want to stay on all the way to listen to that.
Yeah, absolutely. The mark-to-market column, when we started it, The declared aim was to offer analysis and insight on market trends and corporate issues. And this is actually a really interesting time in the local market because the performance of many big companies in Singapore has been quite disappointing over the past decade. With COVID-19, we're heading towards an inflection point of sorts where companies are realizing that they need to reposition themselves and refocus their businesses. And in the process of doing that, there's potentially a lot of value that can be unlocked in the Singapore market. So this was actually the main theme of the first Mark to Market podcast. Over the past decade, central banks were the major force in global markets as they pursued loose monetary policies. So doing well in the market was often about riding that policy action. But in the post-COVID era, the micro stories of individual companies are going to become much more important, I think. And certainly that will be the case in this market. And so our aim is to shine a light on what's going on there.
So Ben, how did you find the challenge of doing a monologue for 10 minutes?
I was a little apprehensive initially, but after having done one episode and having thought about what to do in future episodes, I'm beginning to see the virtue of doing a monologue. It's quite a good way to explain abstract ideas and concepts that would be too long and tedious in print. So I'm hoping that the podcast medium will bring something extra to readers of the BT who already follow the Mark to Market column every week. And obviously, I'm also hoping that the podcast develops a new audience that will be interested in reading the weekly column, as well as the very comprehensive news content that's carried in the PT every day.
What does the phrase Mark to Market actually mean to a layman?
You mean the actual term, Mark to Market?
Yes,
yeah. That's a good question. What happens at the end of every trading day is you look at your book and you look at the closing prices and you assign values to everything that you're holding. And so essentially you're marking your portfolio to market.
Right.
And you will know that some of your holdings are short-term, some of your holdings are long-term, but you need a market value for your portfolio at that particular point in time. So that's the meaning of it. And we thought it'd be a good name for the column. Actually, it was Wong Wei Kong, the editor of the BT, who came up with the idea, because in a sense, we're sort of providing a market view of what's going on in the corporate sector.
All right. You heard it from the man himself. He will bring you up to the mark, as they say. Thanks for talking with us, Chris and Ben.
Thanks a lot, Ernest.
And thanks for giving me an opportunity to be on the other side of the hosting divide and to tell our listeners about the BT News Tablet Edition, especially our Black Friday and Cyber Monday promo.
We have been speaking with Chris Lim and Ben Paul of the Business Times. Now, all you have to do is Google search the BT Mark to Market podcast with Ben Paul, and you can listen to episode 1. As for getting your hands on the new Business Times news tablet, check out this website, and I'm going to say this URL quite slowly. btsub.sg/moneyhacks. So let me spell that out slowly for you guys. btsub.sg/moneyhacks. And I've put a link to this URL in our text description below. Take care, everyone, and stay safe.
That was an SPH podcast by the Business Times. Find us on Spotify, Apple or Google Podcasts, or streaming on Google Home. Do feedback to us at podcast@sph.com.sg. You can also check out more podcasts on various topics at the Straits Times, the Business Times, and Money FM 89.3. Any financial or investment information in this podcast is for use in Singapore only and is intended to be for your general information. Any particular investment or decision should only be made after consulting with a fully qualified financial advisor.